Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut, usually here with Mike Kelly, but he has a medical appointment this morning, and I can't get into it because of HIPAA. Just kidding. He does have a medical appointment. He talked about it yesterday for his back. He's finally getting in. Well, hopefully he'll get his release that we need. I'm tired of seeing him look hunched over like the Notre Dame hunchback. Anyway, what do we got? We don't have much news today. We got a couple different things. So let's get right into it. Uh, Dow's down about 61 basis points. The bonds, 10 years at 4.481, and the bonds are, I should say, mortgage-backed securities are about 7 points off. So nothing major, but it's, that 10-year was 419 a little bit ago, and then about 2 weeks ago, and it's come up since then. And it has a lot to do with tariffs, a lot of different things, not knowing what's going on with the government. And a thing came out called consumer sentiment. And what that is, the University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Index dropped to 50.8 in May. This is the second lowest since 1952. That's huge. The fact that what consumers are thinking is going to happen out there. One of the expectation is they expect inflation to surge to 7.3% over the next year. And that's the highest for people thinking that inflation is going to surge since 1981. Man, 1981 to be back there again. Over 60% of respondents expected higher unemployment. This is the most pessimistic read since 2008 financial crisis. Important context, most responses came before the positive trade developments with UK and China. So they're hoping that it rebounds next month, but we really don't know what it's going to be. But the biggest thing I'm looking at is people are expecting higher unemployment. Well, of course, we don't really know what's going on. This is the first time in history somebody has taken the time to go after tariffs and all the different things like that. And that's what they're working on. Let's see, that's all right. Look at that. Pretty good. All right, let's keep going. True inflation, real-time inflation gauge reports a rise from 1.35% to 1.92 in May. This is still far below the BLS and the BEA figures, both with tracking. The key indication of the inflation drivers is the tariffs impacting auto prices. Gas prices rise due to seasonal blend changes. We have a summer blend here in California and a winter blend. But the other reason our actual stuff is going to go up, gas prices are going to go up here in California, is because they got rid of a refinery. Yes, smart Californians, all the different things that caused that refinery person to say, we're done, we're out of here. I don't think it's going to be as bad as what people are expecting, because if it was, the bond market would be much better than we are right now, and it's not. So I don't. But there, some positive news. So under FHA guidelines, so I'm going to talk about VA, but first let me just put. So VA is coming out, and they just passed a bill in the House. It's called the Voice Vote. And it's moved to the Senate. It puts together on a VA loan the partial claim option. What that is, and I'll get in a second, a partial claim. So right now on FHA, they have a partial claim, which means they have to help you put at least up to 12 months of house payments into a separate lien against the house as a partial claim. They pay it, and then that way you get caught up, and it's going to be there. When you refinance or sell the house is when you pay that back. They are now trying to do the same thing for VA borrowers, and that's because there wasn't a program in place like that. In the past, because of COVID and everything else, there was a VAST program, which was helping veterans do the foreclosure and everything else, forbearance, so they wouldn't lose their house. And then that program just went away. And so they're hoping that this is just going to help veterans. So have the same thing that FHA has now for VA, which is what it should be. All right, some housing information. We talked about inventory this week, how it went up about 13,000. Well, right now, Florida single family home inventory is up 363% since 2022. Listings rise across metros: Orlando 50.6%. Tampa is 42.5%, and Miami is 36.7%. Demand cooling, pending sales down in Tampa, negative -6.5%, Orlando -9.5%, and Miami -4.3%. Prices are falling in Tampa by 4.5%, Miami by 2.3%, Jacksonville by 2.8%. That doesn't sound like much, but this is a market that was going through the roof for so long, and a lot of us moved there. I mean, people from California and New York. The nation's trends echo this. Inventory is up 31% nationwide. Post-Hurricane Milton effects and rising insurance premiums are the reason that Florida is hitting harder. They have to do a ton of retrofits on a bunch of different condos. People can't afford it, and so people are trying to sell those properties and move out. All right, what else do we have? Spring sales season, incentive season. Builders incentives and commission shifts. So 61% of builders are using sales incentives, and 34% are cutting prices to sell those brand new homes. The incentives include rate buy downs, closing cost help, green upgrades, and job loss protection. So if you're looking for a home, go talk to a new builder, to see if there's something you can find there. But a lot of them aren't building a lot right now. They're just building enough. The commission strategy, builders are offering above average agent commissions over 4%. But post NAR settlement rule means agents can't accept more than agreed upon in the buyer broker contract. I got to check into that. Agents now negotiating client paid fees or turning to builders for closing costs. All right, well, let's move on. So basically that's pretty much the news today, where consumer confidence is super low. VA's got relief now, to have help, to where they get behind, they have something there to help them. Florida market is rebalancing, but not crashing yet. Builders are battling hesitations with deep incentives and creative deals, and inflation signals are mixed, but pressure is building again. So we got to watch for gas and the rent lines to see what's going on. And that's pretty much all there is for today. I hope I gave you some information and not too much information. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow, and make it a great day. And thanks for being here. All right. Bye.